So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Apologies about that. Everybody just wants to call me as I'm about to go live. So, yeah, do apologize, but we are here now. And we have actually got some good news. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but we'll come to that very shortly. Thank you to everybody who was sat waiting. Like I said, I do apologize about that. But before we get into talking about the main man, let's talk about a couple of lesser main men. Let's talk about this guy, Matteo Guendouzi, linked with a move to PSG with Julian Draxler coming back the opposite way. Julian Draxler, is it 2013 again? Like, seriously, this is just fucking embarrassing. Real talk, it's embarrassing. Julian Draxler in a potential swap deal for Guendouzi. Now, what I find even more hilarious is the other week when Bellerin was linked, and we're coming to Bellerin in a minute, when Bellerin was linked to PSG, everyone was sitting there going, oh, but if PSG want Bellerin, he must be a good player because they were the Champions League finalists. Does that rule apply to Guendouzi as well then? No, I didn't think it did. I didn't think it did because it's Guendouzi and he's a scapegoat. He's the villain, the villain of the piece. And do we really need Guendouzi going in a swap deal for Julian Draxler? We need central midfielders, decent ones, i.e. we need a Thomas Partey. We need a Houssem Aouar. Instead, we're looking at another winger who can potentially float around number 10. This football club's got no direction at all, is it? Let's be real here. It's got no strategy, no game plan. They're going to drop some news tomorrow or maybe later today. We don't know. But before the Fulham game, we're going to get the news Aubameyang signed. Conveniently, to mask over the fact that Edu has done nothing for 7 weeks, apart from tap up a Brazilian who was free and out of contract and didn't have a club, and sign a kid from France. That's all he's done. Oh, he got Dani Ceballos back. Again, a loan signing, which was probably the easiest deal. Even me, you, and everyone else could have done that deal. Hello, Danny, come back. We're negotiating with Madrid. Sweet, bye. Yeah, hello, Madrid. We'll pay his 80 grand a week wages or whatever it is he's on. We want him back for another year. Are you cool with that? Yeah, sweet. See ya. Get him on a flight. Oh, that was not a hard deal. William was not a hard deal. Yeah. Signing Gabriel may have been a hard deal because there was other clubs involved. It don't take 7 weeks. Yeah. So basically in 7 weeks, all Edu has done is sign one kid. That's it. What has he actually done? I don't get it. And we're literally 48 hours away from starting our Premier League season. And we've got the same bottle jobs that finished 8th. Let's move on to Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa was denied access to PSG on loan. They wanted to loan him with an option to buy him at the end. And what I find extraordinary is the amount of people sitting there telling me for weeks now, it's not Football Manager League. You can't just go and splash cash left, right and centre. It's not as easy as you think it is. Yet when it comes to Hector Bellerin, the same people saying that and saying it's a global pandemic are now sitting there saying, oh, well, £40 million and you can have him. How is anyone going to stump up £40 million in a global pandemic, I hear you ask? Exactly. They don't believe the BS they're chatting. Hector Bellerin should have been out on loan to PSG. Instead, they've gone for Florenzi now, which means we're stuck with him unless somebody else comes in, which they're not going to. There was a link with Barcelona yesterday. I don't believe for 1 minute that Ronald Koeman, who was a top draw defender, wants Hector Bellerin at Barcelona. Not having it. Don't believe it. He knows decent defenders. He don't want Bellerin. But there we go. It is what it is. Draxler could be incoming. Draxler, 2013. Draxler. He's had more medicals than Jan and Villa. What's going on here? But let's move on to some actual positive news. Because there is some positive news. Believe it or not. You just got to laugh. You just absolutely got to laugh at the comedy club. Because that's what it is. But Aubameyang is now the top earning player at Arsenal Football Club. Like I said, the official announcement hasn't dropped yet, but Fraudstein, Ornstein, Pornstein, whatever you want to call him, has dropped the news, which means the announcement is imminent, either today or tomorrow, that he has signed a 3-year contract. Well, it's a 2-year extension, really, isn't it? A 2-year extension, making him the club's highest paid player. So he's going to be on about 375 grand a week, according to the reports. And that is the best bit of business anyone will do this summer. 29 goals last season, scored 2 in the final, including the winner, 2 in the semi, scored in the charity game that everyone's pretending to trophy. And and yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat saying, ha, 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 375 grand for a 30 plus. Yeah, imagine saying that about a guy who scores 29 goals. I wonder whether Ronaldo and Messi get put in that bracket as well. I'm not saying he's as good as Ronaldo and Messi, because he isn't. But his goals output, 29 goals last season. Like I said, including winners in finals. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy he's signed. I'm not happy it's taken 8 months to get to this point. I don't see what's taken 8 months to do a deal, especially when 8 months ago he said that he loves the club. He doesn't listen to media speculation, etc., etc. But have we just blown all of our money on Aubameyang? Is that what's happened? No, we haven't. We haven't blown all of our money. What's happened is he was already on 200 grand a week. Mkhitaryan has left the football club. So we've just basically given him most of Mkhitaryan's wages on top of what he was getting paid. Which, listen, let's be real here. He is our top striker. And without him, we'll probably be languishing around 15th. Even if we put another player, because we're not going to play with 10 men. Even if we did put another player in the team, they're not going to bag 29 goals. So you'd assume that we'd be lower down the table. The one thing I will say here is we're so heavily reliant on him that if he does get injured, we're fucked. Like, real talk. We are absolutely effed. And it's not good. It's really not good. We need to have had our business wrapped up, because right now, haggling over a couple of quid here and there is to the detriment of our points tally. Yeah, we're going into another season unprepared. How many times did we do this under Arsene Wenger? The only time we have been prepared, funny enough, is when Rouse and Haley was in charge of transfers and Unai Emery was manager, because we had all of our transfer targets signed, sealed, delivered before the window shut. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. And last season, the window shut before the season started. I get that. The season before, we had all of our targets done before the season started. So it's a bit of a madness that we're sat here with less than 48 hours to go before we kick off at Craven Cottage with literally no outs. Like, nobody's left. Like, I genuinely don't understand that. How can we sit here with a squad that finished 8th last season? And like I've said before, the FA Cup don't mask over the fact that we're crap. Yeah, yes, it's great. Mikel Arteta after the Aston Villa game. Stan Kroenke backs me. The Kroenkes, no. The Kroenkes back me. I wouldn't stand here and say it if I didn't believe it. Trust me. I believe it. They definitely back me. I've got 100% backing from the board and from the Kroenkes. Well, if you look, Alan, I can't even speak. If you actually sit there and analyse it properly, he hasn't, though, has he? So at the end of this transfer window, if he hasn't got the backing, I fully expect the weak-haired EU merchants that jumped on a hype train last year to fit in and be part of the Arsenal family that doesn't exist, to get retweets. I fully expect them to come back out and demand answers, which they won't, because it's now gone to trust the process. And I fully expect him to hand his resignation in. And if he doesn't, he's then becoming part of the problem, because he's now being the puppet for the owner, isn't he? The same owner that's in charge of the process. And he barefaced lied at Aston Villa. So he said that they're backing him. He said that they've given him 100% backing. The board, the directors, they're supporting him, they're backing him. And if he doesn't get Aouar and Partey, which are our 2 main transfer targets, and he has to get both of them, otherwise we ain't got no hope of even challenging for top 4. And even with them, I'm still not sure that's enough, you know. But if he doesn't get both of them, he should resign, because he hasn't been backed. But he won't, He should sit there and out every single one of them and say, well, they promised me this, they promised me that, they promised me this. But he won't. And that then makes him part of the problem, because he's then covering up for their bullshit, basically, which is what we had a decade of Arsene Wenger doing. Yeah, just constantly chatting rubbish in press conferences, constantly saying no one was available. This window, to me, feels like the window where we only signed Petr Cech. Because for me, Ceballos was here last year anyway. I ain't even taking that as a new signing. He was here already. Yeah, yes, he went back to Madrid, but he's come back this season. So he only left for a couple of weeks. Take it as a holiday. Yeah, we all knew he was coming back when he left. Willian was free. All he had to do was drive 6 miles around the corner to the Emirates from Chelsea. So we've signed a 22-year-old kid who may or may not be good. So for me, this window so far smacks of the Petr Cech window, which, by the way, was when we were in Champions League. We got to the Champions League, we signed Petr Cech. So why is the Champions League the be-all and end-all? I don't get it. Europa League players on Champions League wages. Only Arsenal FC, baby. How's tricks, my guy? Hope you're well, man. And love you, baby. Thank you for your donation, man. Always appreciate that. Trust the process. We care, do you? Well, they don't seem to care, do they? And all the people that were crying and trying to fit in with the we care, do you? They suddenly don't care because that isn't part of the narrative this summer. There has to always be a slogan for Arsenal every summer. This year's slogan is trust the process. What process? What is the process? I've been asking this since day one. Still, to this day, nobody can tell me what the process is. For me, looking in, I see the process as, what I'll do is I'll bullshit my way through press conferences by talking like I'm really on it, and maybe he is really on it. I do like listening to his press conferences. But he talks a great game. He talks like a fan. He talks like I am. Like, 8th ain't good enough. 8th in an FA Cup is not good enough, he said. That's what he said. Is he negative by saying that? Because apparently I am for saying the same. Imagine being negative for wanting your club to improve and get better players and climb up the table and go with the same standards that were ingrained at the marble halls that they fucking completely mugged us off on an away shirt. Oh, we took it from the marble halls, the class and tradition. The class and tradition was left the day we made a cartoon fucking badge, yeah, that my daughter could have made better. And we took off the class and tradition writing underneath it, which, by the way, Arsenal still copyright. Victoria Concordia Crescit is copywritten by Arsenal Football Club. So why isn't it on the badge then? Tell us that. Oh, yeah, because it's Latin. It don't appeal to everybody. Yeah, which I understand. I completely get. But don't come with this bullshit about you're classy. Arsenal haven't been classy for 20 fucking years. Yeah, last time we were classy was at Highbury. All of our class is in a bunch of flats. Yeah, with a little centre circle in the middle as a garden. That's where our class is. Yes, I did still buy the shirt. What's the issue? But you're paying into the club. You're one of them, ain't you? You're part of the problem because you're buying the merchandise. You do realise Arsenal get £3 of this. This shirt cost me 70 quid, mate. Yeah, 70 quid. In fact, it cost me more than that because it's got a name and number on the back. But 70 quid, £3.50 of it will go to the club because they get 5% of every shirt sale. Guess why? Because Adidas have already paid us for them. So the money goes to Adidas. Yeah. When you educate yourselves on that, how that works, my friend, come back with some better comments. But the way I look at it is this season, it's going to be just as bad as last season. In fact, it'll be worse because I can't see us winning the FA Cup again this season. Are we going to win the Europa League? Probably not. Will we challenge for the title? No. So what's our goal this season? We've already got our fans sitting there saying, oh, don't worry about the League Cup. Play the kids. Play the kids. Like we're the greatest club in the world and we can pick and choose which tournaments we want to try and win. Play the kids in the League Cup. Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? Why don't we go and try and win the League Cup? We won't, though, because it's all about trying to get fourth. So that when we get fourth, we don't do what's required again to actually go and make a charge for the Champions League or to kick on to first. So what's the point? We're just going round and round and round and round in circles. There is no process. All the class and tradition was left at Highbury. And yeah, the only bit of positive news is that Aubameyang has signed a new deal and it's due to be announced in the next 36 hours or so. Other than that, we're a shambles. And I don't get where this optimism comes from. You know, winning an FA Cup doesn't mask over all of the issues at this football club. I don't understand how people think it does. I genuinely don't. Nuck Choris, good name, says, I don't blame Stan Kroenke, it's that fraud Edu. Well, listen, Kroenke can sack all of these people. So potentially, yes, he is to blame at some point. Edu has done nothing apart from sign a kid in 7 weeks. Who, by the way, was Brazilian, so it was probably easier to sign him. Oh, come and play with a Brazilian core. Okay, mate. Yeah, that's going to go well, isn't it? David Luiz. You're always complaining. What is wrong with you? I want my team to improve. Is that too bad for you to understand? Like, we finished 8th in the league. Worst league position for 25 years. We've got a midfield that's worse than Everton's, worse than Wolverhampton Wanderers, worse than Sheffield United's, by the way. And we've got all of our goals coming through one source. If that one source gets injured, where are we getting goals from? We've got a right back who's more interested in becoming a humanitarian than he is playing football, who doesn't study his opponents and couldn't give a toss about football. We've got a number 10 who just sits online doing Q&As these days to boost his PR. Didn't ask my questions though, did he? Didn't answer them. And nicking 350 grand a week out of the club. And we've got a manager who stood there after Aston Villa saying that the Cronkies back him and the board back him. Well, it ain't looking that way, is it? So what's to be happy about, mate? We're going into a season fully underprepared again with the same weak bottle jobs that have failed year in, year out for years. What's to be happy about? Are you happy losing every week? Are you happy losing at Aston Villa away? Are you happy losing at Brighton away? Are you happy losing at Palace? Are you happy that Granit Xhaka's coming out saying we were scared of Watford? Are you happy with all of that? Because I'm not. If you are happy with that, then I'd maybe suggest taking up another hobby, mate. Because winning football games is what playing football's all about. Winning trophies is what football's all about. And yes, we won the FA Cup. That was last season. We won the FA Cup in 2017. What have we done until we won the cup again? Yeah, tell me. Oh, yeah. 5th, 6th, 8th. Yeah? Are you happy finishing mid-table? I don't get it. I don't get how anyone can sit there and say, stop moaning. Don't get it. I will moan every day until my club do what's required. I'm looking at Leeds United spending money. I'm looking at Aston Villa spending money. I'm looking at Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, Sheffield United, all spending money. I'm looking at Man United about to sign Jadon Sancho. Yeah, they've already signed Van der Beek. I'm looking at Chelsea going out there. They're buying the league. Well, they're not, are they? Because they got 100 million for Eden Hazard. Yeah. Last summer, they haven't been able to spend since. So there's 100 million off of their total. Then they got 50 million quid for Morata. So now that's 150 off of their total. They're going to get 35 for Bakayoko. They'll probably get 25 for Batshuayi. And by the end of this window, they'll be in profit. And they've overhauled all of the shit and bought proper players. Why can't we do that? Oh, but Lee, they're on too much money. We can't get rid of these players. Well, that's rubbish. Man United got rid of Alexis on £500,000 a week. Yeah. We got rid of Mkhitaryan on 200 grand a week. These excuses don't wash, mate. They don't wash. The only thing that is washed is Arsenal Football Club. We're coming fourth this season. Mark my words, bruv. Puff, puff, give, baby. Rotate that shit. I'd love to have your optimism, bruv. But seriously, I don't see it. I didn't see it. I can't see it, bruv. Can't see it. We've got the worst midfield in the top 10. And that has been our Achilles heel for a long, long time. How can you say we won't compete if we get a War and Party? Because number one, the season starts on Saturday, And it's not a given going to Fulham and beating them. I've seen so many people thinking we're strolling into Craven Cottage and nicking 3 points. These same people thought we were strolling into Villa Park and nicking 3 points. We're shit away from home and have been for a long, long time. So that's not a given. Yes, I do think we will win, but it's not a given. West Ham, they're in dire straits, but they're going to go out there and have a go. That ain't an easy game. We've got Liverpool coming up before the window shuts. So let's assume we get these 2 deals done. We've already missed out on 3 or 4 games, if you include Sheffield United and Leicester in that these players have not played in, by which time we would have dropped points, I'd imagine. I can't see us beating Liverpool at Anfield. So we would have dropped points at some point along the way. Then they've got to come in. They've then got to go into training. They've then got to get up to match fitness. By the time we see them properly at 100%, right on the top of the game, it's probably going to be around November, by which time we're so far gone from anywhere that we're fucked. And like I said, if we lose Aubameyang to any long-term injury, we are completely doomed, because that guy single-handedly kept us in a challenge for fucking 6th, let alone fucking anywhere else. Yeah, and his FA Cup winner got us Europa League. So I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of people say this. Werner and Havertz will flop, but Aouar and Partey won't. Can work it both ways, can't you? Why will they flop? I don't get it. I don't see any reason why they'd flop. They're both quality footballers. Same with Aouar and Partey. If you're going to use that rule for Chelsea, because it's Chelsea, you've got to use the rule for Arsenal as well, haven't you? In fact, our 2, if we get them, Aouar and Partey, have probably got more chance of flopping because we've got a proven track record of flopping. Chelsea ain't. They go and win titles. If Aubameyang had left, relegation candidates, says Anthony. Well, yeah, we may well sit here and laugh about it, but it's actually kind of reality, really, isn't it? Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate that. And it's kind of sad, really, isn't it, that we're sat here with 2 days to go before the game starts, and we've done no business of any note other than sign Aubameyang. Which, well done to Rouse and Haley, by the way, because according to Ornstein, it was majority him that was negotiating that deal, and then everyone else just put the icing on the cake. So there we go. We are better than Wolves, and Spurs haven't done much, not enough to worry us. The one thing I'll say about Spurs, yes, they have only signed 2 players, both of them are Premier League experienced. They've been in the league before. Their right back's levels ahead of the right back they've got before that in Aurier. Højbjerg's all right, he's not a bad player. But the one thing I will say about them, Harry Kane, fit, ready, raring to go. He was out for 3 months last season. Heung-min Son, fit, ready to go. He was out for about 2 months last season. Lloris was out for 5 months last season. Sissoko was out for 3 months. Bergwijn was out for 6 weeks. So, albeit they haven't gone out and done loads of business, they've got their front 3 back all fit, ready, raring and ready to go. And their goalkeeper. So they're better than us, mate. I don't subscribe to this about, oh, it's Tottenham, we've got to slag them off. They're better than us. Yeah, they're better than us. They've got a better manager as well. Wolves, as for Wolves, again, I think they're better than us. And the one thing people are missing with Wolves, they've got no Europe. They can just concentrate on 1 game a week. So when we're flying off to all these far-flung places across the world, they're not. They're just in their training camp getting ready for the next Premier League game. So I see us below both of them, if I'm honest, and I see the top 4 as being the same top 4 as that finished last season. As it stands, we're 7th. That's how I see it. Maybe if we get Aouar and Partey, that might change. But according to Fabrizio Romano, we haven't made any cash bid for either of them. So 3 weeks to go until the transfer window slams shut, and we haven't officially put a cash-only bid in for either of them 2 players that were apparently our #1 targets. It's a shambles. It's an absolute fucking shambles. What team do you support, boss? Excuse me, boss. Arsenal fans are going to turn on Arteta. Can't wait. What team do you support? It is going to be very hypocritical of these people when they do, which they will. You're dead right. They will at some point. It's going to be very hypocritical. And I'll tell you something now. I'm not a petty person normally, but you best believe when these people start turning, yeah, I'm going for every single one of them. I put a tweet out months and months back, and it had more comments than likes and retweets. It was just people constant abuse, 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 and that's bookmarked, that tweet, because as soon as I see any of the people, and it's all in here, any of them people say anything that I was saying back then, they're getting it, and I will fully turn into a petty little petulant schoolboy. Don't care. Save your moaning for the bedroom. Arsenal ain't worthy of your moanings. Bro, do you know what? When the game kicks off, I'll be buzzing. Yeah. But right now, fuming, disgusting, embarrassing, shambles of a football club. To the point where we are now basically just fashion models for Adidas merchandise. That is what we are, because our whole timelines are just full up with Arsenal constantly tweeting about Adidas this and Adidas that. Fuck Adidas. Yeah. I want signings. Yeah. And I want players to leave. And I said back in April before lockdown, whilst in lockdown, the biggest thing that we can do this summer is bin a lot of the dross. And we're sat here with less than 48 hours to go before we kick off our first Premier League game, and only Mkhitaryan has left. And I ain't even counting him because he weren't here last season. So we have actually actively got rid of not a single one of these bottle jobs that finished 8th. And people think we're suddenly getting 4th. I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't know how you've come to that conclusion, apart from just wanting to fit in on social media with the rest of the people that are peddling that agenda with their bigger accounts. Like I said, I'm supposed to trust a process that is led by a failed board and an owner that last summer, the same people were asking if he cares. Sorry, I don't trust anything these people are telling me about trust the process and we care to you. They're all hypocrites. I don't trust anything these people say. Peddling it, forcing it down my throat. Trust the process. Fuck your process. Yeah, forcing it down my throat last summer. Join the We Care to You movement that's now folded and liquidated because the trust the process movement has overtaken it. Real sad to see how our fans go on. Real sad to see how this football club is. And like I said, I put a tweet out yesterday. I said all of the class and tradition of the Arsenal is left at Highbury. We now support a brand. It is a brand. It's not Arsenal Football Club. It's not the Arsenal. It is a brand, because that's what it is. That is a brand. That ain't Arsenal. Look at the fucking state of that badge. Real talk, state of it. My 10-year-old could have designed a better badge. Embarrassing, man. And we got sold down the river. Yeah. Moved to the Emirates to compete with Europe's elite. We got sold this big dream and they knew what they were doing. They did it when we were winning. Oh, yes, we'll jump on board with that. Let's move to Ashburton Grove to compete with Europe's elite. You don't need a big stadium to compete with the best teams in the world. Sunderland Stadium is bigger than Juventus Stadium. Yeah? How do Juventus compete with 41,000 fans? How's that work? I don't understand. I don't understand how we've got into this position. But there you go. Anyway, I'm going to read 3 more comments. Do smash the likes up. 1,400 people watching live right now. We are a business, exactly. Let's do a few more. Agree with you. Thank you. There you go. Arsenal board pisses me off. Ollie tried to use the COVID excuse. Now, COVID is an excuse, and United fans had a meltdown. Arteta will use COVID excuse and expect fans to accept it. Like I've said, and I'm going to reiterate it one more time. After the Aston Villa game, when the plane flew across, yeah, back Arteta, Kroenke out, which was never making any sense anyway. Give us your money and then fuck off, was basically what that says. Yeah, give me your money, give it to Arteta, and once you've done that, leave. That made no sense. Work that out. Yeah. Whoever thought that idea up, Jesus Christ, get in the bin. with most of these players. But I'll say it one more time. After that game, he was interviewed after the game where we lost away to Aston Villa with 0 shots on target with the exact same team we got now. And he said, no, I've got full backing from the board and Stan Kroenke. And like I'll say one more time, if the end of this window comes and we haven't signed Houssem Aouar and Thomas Partey, he should resign because he hasn't been backed. And if he doesn't resign, he becomes part of the problem. And on that bombshell, I'll be back with a Premier League transfer update in about an hour. Until then, all have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks very much to everybody who has watched. Do subscribe if you haven't. The link for my Fantasy Premier League team is in the description, along with my Insta. Make sure you follow that, League Gunner 82. And make sure you download Flick. That app is in the description as well. If you want to win cash prizes on the Fantasy League, you have to follow that app anyway to qualify. Do smash the likes up, not even 300 likes on this, and we've got 1,400 people watching. So batter the likes before you leave. Stick a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll be back in an hour with a Premier League transfer update. It's nice to actually not rant on that Premier League video because other teams are doing business. So I can just sit there and go, oh, have you managed all of that in a global pandemic? Anyway, I'm gone. Later.